This episode of Outside the Net is brought to you by Grit, custom gear for the player who never backs down. Go to grtpaintball.com and get 10% off your first order. If you want to be the best, you got to have Grit.
That you're here tonight. One second. Turn that music on. Well, guys, welcome to the show. Let us know you're watching, where you're watching from. We got a lot going on over the next couple weeks. With MSXL coming up next weekend, June 12th and 13th, and then Next Gen following that immediately the weekend after. And so we're not going to waste a whole lot of time tonight. We got a special guest with us, Steve Iovino. Some of you guys got to hang out with him last weekend at the Greenspan Clinic. I'm sure we'll talk a little bit about that tonight, but I'm going to get him in here. Let's see. Steve, you there, buddy?
I'm here, man. Can you hear me?
I can hear you just fine. How you doing, bro?
There we go. Doing well, man. Just driving, doing what I do. Traveling the country, always.
Always. You're always mobile. It's like it's like your shtick.
Yeah.
So before we dive into this layout, I want to talk a little bit about the Greenspan Clinic. So can you fill me in on how the weekend went?
Dude, it was, this is the fourth one we had, and this was probably the best one, and I'm not even lying. Not a ton of guys, right, which is a good thing. We had like 22, right around 20 guys, and the militia dudes, the Midwest militia guys. We had a couple prime suspect guys. So there was some decent players from local teams showed up. I do want to give a shout out to Cole Thrasher, though. Cole Thrasher was from the Kansas City Rejects. Drove 4.5 hours with his parents, man. So it was really cool. Ryan, Ryan had a really great time. I felt like this one, the guys were able to take away a lot more team fundamentals than individual. I'm sure there were some individual skills that they took away from it, but he was doing a lot of situationals right off the gate, right? Saturday was a bunch of situationals, 2-on-3s, 2-on-2s, D side attacking, snake side attacking. It was just overall awesome, Brady. I wish you were there, but it was this was probably the best one we had, and I really appreciate everybody showing up, and all the shout outs we've gotten on Facebook over the last couple of days have just been amazing. And then shout out to Bonus Ball Media. Yeah, Bonus Ball Media was out there. So shout out to Dave. Same thing with Scotty Riopol. Shout out to Scotty Riopol because he was out there Saturday. Dave Grass was out there Sunday. So we had lots of media all weekend, man. So thanks.
I can't wait to see the footage from the weekend. I'm sure it's going to be good with those guys getting out there. Man, that's awesome. If you guys in the chat showed up to the Greenspan Clinic over the weekend, sound off. Let us know you were there. And we're going to get going on this layout. I want to get Steve in on this before he has to go. How long we got you for?
About a half hour.
Okay, good. I think we can work with that. Let's see if figure this out. There we go. Okay, I'm going to switch over here.
I'm very, very excited for this layout.
Have you got to look over it?
I have, yes.
Okay, good, because that's more than... Listen, I am walking this field with you guys for the first time right now, so... I have not got to spend a lot of time. I spent maybe 15 minutes on my lunch break, just kind of taking a look at it online. But I'm excited to hear what you have for us, Steve. So what are your first thoughts? What are you thinking just from the get-go overall?
Yeah, so if you go down to the Snake Side Tower, right? If you're looking at the field, if you look at that snake side tower.
Yep.
Right. In my opinion, I think this might be a crossfield, and I haven't done a lot of. Oh, can you hear me? Okay.
Yep. You just kind of cut out for a second.
Cool. Oh, that's all right. I'm passing a semi. I'm sure he just stole our thunder. So if you look at the snake side tower really quick. All right. So here's my opinion, okay? And I haven't had a chance to really look at this. I don't think there's going to be a lot of heads up there. There's really not if you look at that, right? But if you're standing up and you're looking cross field at the baby being little, I'm calling it the baby, basically that little snake thing with I wouldn't even call it a snakerito, but that little beam with the Doritos, right? This bunker here is going to lock. If you're standing up in that snake side tower, you're going to lock down that side of the field right there. You have all those bunkers. You have the Dorito in the back because you have a blind shot on that Dorito in the back corner. Okay, you have a blind shot on the mini W, and then you can see that entire 50 structure. So to me, that snake side tower, that's an anchor bunker, and he must shoot cross field almost the whole game. That entire zone is his in that snake side tower.
Yeah, that's perfect. And just look open through here, this whole cut. So if you can stay on your gun, I don't think they're making it through.
Nope, not at all. Not
okay,
at all.
Good.
And I
good.
think there needs to be. I think whoever plays that has to stay there.
So we're gonna check off that snake side tower as a must go to on the breakout. And I mean, it's super easy to get to. I mean, it's not something like you're not risking your body to get there. This is
you're
off the break.
Yes, absolutely, Brady. Absolutely. And Brady, what I would do is I would L out. I would L out from the start box.
Straight,
the second you L
and
out,
then up.
The second you, and while you're walking up, you're shooting cross field the whole way. That's all you're doing.
Yep, absolutely.
Yep.
Perfect. Okay, so what's next? What else have you seen?
D side tower. Go to the D side tower.
Now let me guess, Steve. Before you say what you're gonna say, I saw this gap here when I was looking at it online.
You're absolutely right, man. So
this
these
right
two
here.
towers are going to be yes. So these two towers are going to be playing cross, right? Your snake side tower is always looking D side. Your D side tower is always going to look snake side. If you stand up, I don't know if you can lift up a little bit like you would be standing up in that tower. If you stand up,
this would be about head
not
height,
only so not only do you have what you just had, that square, but you also have the can, right? You have a blind shot over that wedge.
Yes. Right.
So
there.
I would call that the money, right? So that's what I would refer to that as the money bunker. So you're gonna shoot over the tower into the money, and then you have that entire snake side corner, man. That whole thing.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Including you're shutting down any progression into the 50 there on the right hand side. So that D side tower and that snake side tower, hands down, those are my anchors on this field right off the gate.
Yeah, they're huge. And if I'm the snake guy, I'm not going outside unless I absolutely have to. But to me, the easiest route seems to be to come in through the snake 1 and find a time to cross this gap to get into snake 3. Is that what you would say?
Yeah. I would. If can you look around? Can you look around that cake at all? What do you see? I have not looked at the snake. Obviously, that's why we.
So on the reverse side of that tower, right? That's targeting this zone.
Yep.
You have that right in front of you, all day. You might. This isn't a position I like to be in, where I'm down in the dirt versus somebody who's standing up tall, right? But you do have, if you know they're there, you're expecting they're there, you could get a ball in on them. Yeah. At least enough to maybe put them in to make your move. Now,
the one thing I could do, can you go into that cake?
this
really
back
quick,
into this one?
Brady, can you go into that cake really quick though?
Yeah.
Yeah. So go into the beam. So don't. Yeah. So if you look on the inside, I think you might be able. Can you get a shot on that tower from here? I can't see it. Maybe not. I don't think you can.
The D side tower on the looking on the inside.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't look like you're going to get that shot now.
All right. So I would maybe spend some time if you are to play this snake 2 here. I would probably spend some time looking on the inside, and then try to maybe at least head check. I would head check that tower before you go.
Absolutely, yeah. And that brick in the center 50 and this little Aztec are going to block you out from the inside.
Yeah.
But you do have, I mean, a lot of ground over on the D side. So let's see if I can get that.
Yeah.
All the way, that whole cross right there.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely that bunker right there is going to be the one to watch out for when you're moving through the snake. He's going to be deadly. Because other than that, you're completely covered by all this mess in the center 50, in the snake 50. So that is basically your only contestant is that tower.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yep.
Now, as we move in towards the Viper or the snake 50. It definitely opens up, and I like this, whatever this is going on here with this double wedge, because it pretty well blocks you out from the whole D side.
Called the crack pipe. Yeah,
The crack pipe, okay.
Yeah, it's an interesting structure, but there's not much you can do from there, right? Guys are going to play it, but I don't think it's a good bunker to hit off unless you're, I don't know. Maybe I could be wrong, but to me, it's a waste of a body if you send somebody up there.
Right, because what can you really do? There might be some. I mean, you know, if you wanted to wait on this guy to come through, if he's coming on the outside, but you know, I think you're right. I think your body's more valuable elsewhere. And
Agreed.
what's the risk look like? What's the risk look like to get to that position, anyways? I mean, you're talking. Yeah.
You can see it from here. It's a long run.
Yeah, huge gap. Now, I did want to point out this pin for the Cobra. I think that's a cruel joke, especially for us big guys. I don't like the pins being on the outside of the tape. But
you know, you can get your skinny dudes if you get you get a skinny guy out there, man. If you can get a little guy that plays your snake guy, right? That would be a good. You can get to the snake relatively easy. But if you want to set up your play out to the Cobra, and that Cobra essentially shoot down that wire and potentially wrap that pin and shoot up the gut if you wanted to, and then just launch from there. So that would be it's a ballsy play, but it's a doable play. So if you wrap right there, you got the whole center of the field, and if you're fast enough, you just go. Yep.
And launch.
Just throw some shots. I would throw it. Yeah. Yep. Throw an audible and be like, Detroit, whatever bunker you want to hit, right? Detroit money. I don't know, some teams call it, but basically you take your pick within there, and that snake guy that hits that, that's what he shoot when he wraps that thing. And then if that guy's not there or he kills that guy, he just fucking, I'm sorry, I don't want to cuss. He just goes,
Let's see. Let's ask the chat. Trent, you're watching. What are your thoughts on this snake? You're a snake guy. Let's see if you got any thoughts or questions while we're on this side of the field. Before we move on. Yeah, I mean, let's see. Let's look on this outside cut. Eric says that pin can pressure the D side tower, slowing down your snake player. Yeah, for sure. I mean, wrapping on the outside or the inside, you got the shot over the Aztec.
Look there.
What was that, Steve? You kind of cut out again.
Oh, sorry, man. You just don't want that guy to get stuck. So if you go to that pin, that's a great shot, but you don't want him to get.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Trent says better be fast. Yeah.
Yep.
Fast and low. All right, so let's look at the money. Now, if we're talking our one on the snake, we're sending him in for sure. And then if you're looking at that though, Steve, what would you say for a 2? Would you send him to the Cobra and risk that body out there? Or would you let him go stop short?
So what you have to think, right? You have to think that we have to the the tower would be money, right? So you have a guy running into money, okay, and you have a guy running the tower. So right off the gate, like we talked about, you're going to have 2 dudes in those towers shooting cross field. So
Yep.
I would either send it to the God or a guy to the Cobra. If you can get a dude into the snake off the break, do it. Okay? Because you're going to have a dude at the home. So there's your third dude. So you're going to have a home, a standard run of play, right? Let's talk about that. A standard run of play would be Detroit, which is a D side tower. Okay. You would have money, which is a side tower. You would have home. All right. Then you're going to have there's a home. You need 3 guys. Okay. Then you're going to have, then you're going to have a dude. This would be an audible. Whether or not you have a fast snake eye, you have a good gun, you can go to the God bunker. To me, you're not going to leave heads up because there's nothing to shoot. You don't want to shoot cross field because you're already doing that with the money, right? Your snake side tower is already shooting cross field. So what I might do is I might leverage that God bunker to shoot that snake gap. So snake 1 to snake 2, if you see what I'm saying. He can shoot into that gap. So if he shoots into that gap, that God bunker is your snake player. So he's going to shoot that gap really quick and go because he can't. He can run low and get in. I don't know if you can see that, Brady, but essentially I would use that God bunker snake gap on the inside. So on the left-hand side of that stand-up wedge is what he's shooting.
Shooting.
So if you can get into there, right there, right in front
that zone there.
Right there.
Yep.
He's shooting in there, and then he's getting in.
Yeah. So just to recap.
And he's shooting it just because. Yeah.
Yeah, just a precautionary, shoot that cut there, and then making his bump in.
Yep.
I like it.
Yeah.
Okay. Depressed says, absolute shit stream quality. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Don't really know what to tell you about that. This will be uploaded later, though, so don't worry if it's not loading in for you, then you'll just have to wait. Okay, so let's look at this home bunker.
People get too used to that 4K, man. They expect it all the time.
Well, when you live out in the sticks, you get potatoes for internet. No, I I haven't got on the Starlink bandwagon, but I'm really considering it. Just keep sending abusive comments in the chat, and it'll happen faster. Okay, so we've got this cut from the home, and I mean, I guess you could shoot over the center, but that's really it. So you got your snake cut, and then you got your mirror if you're looking snake side.
Yep.
And then if we're looking D side, D side's even worse. You've got your
Honestly,
mirror, and then you've got over them pins. So pick your poison.
I think I think your home player is going to get kind of stuck. I mean, you have what you just shown. Other than that, I don't know, man. That's going to be like something they figure out in practice, because you can either send somebody up the gut, which you don't want to do because you already got two guys in front of you, and that's a long ass run up the gut. Or what you can do, maybe kick out to the D side, The only other thing I was thinking, Brady, is that home player. Maybe that home player kicks out to the snake side, because both snake moves are going to be aggressive. So my only other thought is this home player kicks out to the snake side to back up that snake player. So keep in mind that your snake guy's either going to go to God, shoot the cut and go, or he's going to go to Cobra, shoot the cut and go. So I think once that happens, I think your home player then kicks out to the snake side.
Yeah, so we're gonna push that direction. Hold on, I'm gonna get this back. So he'll start out there, and then once we start freeing up this side, then he's gonna make a push out to fill that gap.
Yeah, because I think between that Delta player, that Detroit or that D side tower, and your Dorito player, your D side's good, because you're gonna get a Dorito runner off the break in pretty quick. Right off the break, you can make that. You can either make that corner, or you can make that D1 off the break.
Yeah,
that's relatively easy.
Yeah, and if we're okay, so let's get this look at it. We know we're sending a body up here to this tower, and we know we're sending one to this tower. So yeah, I mean, go there. So that leaves the snake runner going in here, and then your home player.
Yep.
So then let's look at D1, or let's look at the corner first. See what's out wide.
So my personal opinion, because I would play it personally, is this corner can wrap and shoot quite a bit, including the entire D side.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So you can either leverage, you can do one of two things here, right? And again, this is going to be something that teams should practice. So you can either send somebody to this corner, and that corner is just an anchor bunker, right? Shooting the entire D side, shooting the cut that you have boxed right now, shooting that right there, like just watching the tape. So you can leverage your Dorito player to do this. And utilize, right? I remember telling you guys that D side tower is going to be an anchor. It could be an anchor, but it can also be your forward progression. So you can use this guy as your anchor, and you can use that D side tower as the guy that pushes, because he can get into the D2 pretty quickly. So he can shoot his zone, do his thing, and then as the point's playing out, that D side player, that tower could kick out into the D2.
So at which
D2
point?
Tower.
Yeah, it's 12 feet, 15 feet, maybe.
Yeah.
So let's break that down then.
It's all going to be. Sure. Go ahead.
At which point in the match do we decide, okay, we're coming off of this cut here, and we're gonna push out? What's the catalyst that makes that move necessary?
So I think it comes down to how the points are playing out, right? If you're up bodies, you can make that move. If you have a dude on their side into that 50 snake or farther than snake 2, this guy doesn't move. That tower has to stay because that tower is going to lock down that snake. Okay. I mean, that tower is going to lock down that snake. So it's going to be based on communication with your team, right? If you see a guy, if you hear Viper and you confirm that there's a Viper, you're not moving from that D side tower. You have to rely on that dude that's in that D side corner to be your progression. You cannot move. You have to stay there and apply pressure.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you hear that you killed a snake, free range. Go ahead, buddy. Get in that D2.
Yeah.
Right. So it's all going to be based on the audible, right? What's happening? I have nothing else to say on that because honestly, that's how it should be played, right? If you hear a Viper, you stay, and then you got to push. You have to focus on pushing out that D side guy that's in that corner. He got to be your sir. He has to be. What you don't want happening is you don't want that guy that's in the Doritos having to shoot cross field to try to protect everybody else. You want to use that D side tower to protect that snake cross field, or not protect it, but kill it basically.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
That makes perfect sense. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I could tell you numerous times where I've got myself in this position, and especially as a beginner level D6 paintball player, see this guy push up and panic and think, oh shit, I've got to move, and push out right into a lane. So,
right,
you know, somebody's pushing down that tape, you got to keep the pressure, keep them from moving up. And I agree, this is the best guy to do it. So, get a look at these Doritos back here. Let's see. WC says home bump to double up D side tower. Take a look at this wedge. Now the middle could be beneficial to get to late game. It seems like a big gap though, but I think it's doable from this tower. One, like if this guy, I would think if your D corner moves up this way, right? If he pushes around and that gap's covered, I think I would go from D tower to the center. Especially like say if we cut off the snake, could get up in this wedge.
Yeah.
You got the snake side tower there. Got your mirror. Even shoot D side tower over the wedge, wrap on the inside. You're partially covered by that brick, so you know if you know the snake is cleared out. Well, for one, if the snake's cleared out, then your snake guys should be pushing to their side of the field.
Yep.
But wrap on the inside and check out the D side. Yeah, I mean, I like this layout. Way better than what the NXL just posted up. Which I know you're a fan of those asymmetrical layouts, but you know what's funny though is that layout played out exactly like you thought it would.
I told you it would, man. I told you it would.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was probably the most boring
This-
webcast I've ever watched, to be honest. Because
Yeah, I
it
mean,
was the
it was that
exact
one
same
bunker,
all
man.
tournament long.
If you watch every match, man, what was it? It was that snakeside Dorito. It was that Dorito right at the 40-yard line. Just screwed everybody over, man. Right before that wedge, it was that bunker. That bunker just did it every single time. This layout's going to be unique, right? Because you're going to have some dudes. I think when it comes down to the snake side, if you have a lot of wheels, you're going to see a lot of aggression on that snake side. The D side's going to play relatively slow, and I don't think you're going to see a lot of dudes play that weird snake thing on the Dorito side. I don't think so. I don't think you're going to see anybody really in there. I think you're going to see a lot of the first 3 Doritos played, and probably that second mini W. That's about it.
Yeah.
Outside of the can, obviously, but
Sure.
I don't think you're going to see much. I think a lot of the action is going to be on that snake side, and that's why I'm recommending that home player goes over to the snake side.
Yeah. So if we're going to throw out a game plan for them to try at practice this weekend, we're going to say target that D side tower, target the snake tower. We're going to pause at God and shoot this cut right here on your way through.
And it's quick, man. Whoever's playing that snake, it's not a sit there and shoot a loader. It's like sit there and shoot like 50 balls. And if you have that green light, you just go.
And get your head down in the snake. Okay. So there's that. And then our 4th guy, we're going to put him at the home for now. And then you got to kind of just try multiple things here. Send a guy out to the corner, send a guy to D1, whatever's working here.
Yes.
So overall, the D side's not as critical to overtake on the breakout.
No. You want heavy gun Dorito, heavy gun from the Dorito side on snake side. You want two guys on the snake side. You want the snake side tower. And then, like I said, you're either going to rotate between D1 and the can. And quite honestly, guys, like I know there's other teams watching this, but switch it up. Don't always send a dude out to the snake side corner. Don't always send a dude out to the like your snake guy. Your 1 on the snake side should either go straight in, go to the snake side can, or go to the corner. Your 1 on the D side, same thing. To D1, corner, or maybe even overextend. Just depends on who you're playing and how well you're doing. If you guys are up 3-1 in a match, play the pocket. Just go out to the D1 or just go out to the D corner. You'll figure it out in practice, but I think on the back line here, there's a lot of opportunity, but your aggression is going to be in that snake.
I love it. Love it a lot. I think it's going to be a great tournament. I wish I could get out to MSXL and watch you guys play over there. I know we're going to be over at Next Gen over in Millstadt the following week, and we're going to be doing the webcast for that. So stay tuned for the Next Gen Paintball's Facebook page. We'll be going live Saturday morning with D4. We're doing a race to 2 for that one, so be
nice.
Be interesting to see how this plays out. Well, Steve, you got anything else to add to this?
And I think it's going to be a pretty straightforward layout. I honestly do. If anybody's watching this and wants some pointers, by all means, you can reach out to me on Facebook. But I'm excited to see how this plays out too. And I'm unfortunately going to Florida this weekend, so I will not be able to make the MSXL either. But I'm excited to see how it plays out for sure.
Absolutely. Jesse Fajita is in the chat. He says
Jesse needs to leave the chat.
He can't show up for clinics, can he?
You got to pay for me to speak to you, Jesse. If you want pointers from me, you got to pay.
Well, I gotta address this comment, Jesse. I didn't wear the suit jacket because guess what? Grit has new shirts, so go to our website and pick one up before the price goes up. We've got the red and yellow. We've got the purple and teal, and then we've got the green and teal, which I don't know where that one's at right now, but there's one with your name on it. So go over to our website, pick one up. It's $24.99. It's about to go up to like $40. So get it while it's hot. grtpaintball.com. See,
Shameless plug.
Hellhounds are in the chat. Let's go. Can't wait to play this Sunday. Yes, sir. It's going to be a good weekend of practice. Steve has tiny arms. Well, that's just rude, Jesse.
I do. I have T-Rex arms, but you know what, Jesse? I'm still better at paintball than you, so it's all right with my T-Rex arms.
Let's go. Well, you showed up late, Jesse, so you missed all the good stuff. But apparently the stream was shit. If we haven't forgotten, we haven't. Let's go ahead and plug that one up there. So. What do you guys watching right now? I mean, I want to know what you guys want out of these broadcasts, because I mean, we want to make sure that you guys are getting the best possible look before you go into practice during the weekend. This has been super helpful for me. I learned a ton just sitting here going over these layouts. Especially you get a guy like Steve in here that's got such a high IQ for the game that can just walk us through it and break it down. Steve, super thankful to have you in here.
Of course, man.
I know all the newer guys, like the D5 guys, D4 guys, get a lot of information thrown at you. So the more time you have to look at a field and walk through it and get looks at it, the better you're off going to be going into practice and then into the tournament. So if I could suggest one thing, it's get on Guns Up yourself, walk around the virtual field, look at every single bunker and just look at every possible lane, every shot that might be there, and then take those hypotheses into practice on Saturday and Sunday, and just try them out, dude. I mean, you can't go wrong in practice. Like, fail as many times as you can. So when you go into that tournament, you are 100% prepared. Let's see.
Sweet.
Talk about what's happening in the local scene, who's playing where, what the layouts are, if there's any big games. Absolutely. WC, that's what we're going for. That is the goal here. Peyton Hoyt, Faithful is in the house. Glad you're here, bro. Any fields open for the 4th? I don't know, actually. Steve probably has a better idea on that. Any St. Louis fields open on the 4th?
I was just with Will yesterday. I think AV is probably closed. Torrey will probably be open. I just don't know when. I highly doubt on the 4th. You guys might want to reach out to them. It just depends. I know they usually gauge who's going to show up, but
yeah,
I doubt it, to be honest with you guys. Plus, it's going to be hot. Who wants to play? It's too hot outside.
Yeah, and I mean, they're going to be open Saturday and Sunday for practice this weekend. So I would say, I would say Extreme will probably be open Saturday and Sunday. And I don't know about the new field. It's called the Ranch. I don't know much about them, but they'll. I think I did see a post this morning said they'd be open this weekend. But all right. Well, chat, before we let Steve go, do you guys have any questions for him? If not, we're gonna hop on out of here. I know it's going to be a short episode tonight, but we wanted to get you guys a good look on this layout
for sure
the weekend.
In case you're wondering, Jesse, I still love you, even though you didn't show up for the clinic.
There's going to be plenty of opportunity, Jesse, so you better be at the next one or we're going to hog tie you.
Yeah, I'm stoked for this. You know what I would love to do if we have the opportunity? I would love to talk to some teams playing the MSXL after the tournament to see how you guys liked it. That'd be really cool. If we can get some like a captain or somebody from the Hellhounds and some other teams, I'd love to kind of walk through the layout again after the tournament. That'd be really neat.
Yeah, let's do it. Well, Hellhounds are in the house, so let's let's set that up. And I think we could get a show the Wednesday after next. That'd be the following week, wouldn't it?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. Let's get Hellhounds, maybe somebody else on from a different team. That'd be sweet. Get a couple teams on here.
I'd say there'd be a prime line going, and I would say there'd be a prime line going for sure. Prime suspects.
Yeah, I'm just curious to see if my theories were accurate and how you guys played it. It'd be really cool to hear.
For sure. All right. Well, awesome. Steve, I'm gonna cut this off and we're gonna get out of here. Let you go for the night, and we'll be back in 2 weeks with an update on MSXL, and then we'll be heading into that week with next
Thanks,
gen.
Everybody.
So, yep. Steve, thanks for being here, guys. Cool. I hope you guys have a good night. If you have a good night. Yep. Bye. All right, guys. Thank you so much for being here tonight. Let's see, Hellhounds. I'd be down. Steve's in our group chat. We could get Bounty too, for sure. Yeah, we got to get Bounty in here. So we'll just do a big group night and go over this, how it played out, and get some of y'all stories from the weekend. Would love to do that. So for the rest of you guys here, though, I mean, how is the stream quality? I didn't need to go back and read that comment. Your upload is not consistent. 1080p stream doesn't cut out explanations. It's not pixels, it's your explanation that's useless if not consistent. Okay. All right, well, things to be worked on for sure. And we're just going to grow this thing to be whatever it can be, you know? We're just here to get you guys looks on the field. So definitely hope this is helping you guys out or useful or just giving you some things to think about before you go into the weekend. What's good? He's just hating. Yeah. Well, hey, it's good to have haters. That means you're doing something right. So are you guys, the Hellhounds, are they playing D4? Or is it a new team? Because I'd ran into somebody thinking there was a new D5 line going in, but I could be wrong. But I'll tell you what, if you can get some pictures from that weekend, I'd love to throw them up on the site, show some support for y'all. So you get any pictures, send them my way. Give you guys a shout out. And I will be gone next week, or we would be doing another one for next gen specifically. But this was going to have to be a twofer. So we will get a look at the week before next gen, and that'll be the kind of updated. We'll go over some things, what worked, what didn't work for MSXL, and hopefully that'll help you guys that are playing next gen that weekend and give you guys some updated looks on what's working. So I think Steve's absolutely right about this. The snake is where it's at on this field, and this bunker here with this look on the snake gap is going to be a must to get to and control. So shooting that gap there. And then the snake tower shooting cross over the top of this cut here. Oh, so you got over the blind shot into the corner, and then you've got that gap there that just completely holds down the D side. So these two bunkers right there are your anchors for this layout. You give your D side guy some maneuverability, get him in the Doritos, get him out to the corner. Make sure you guys are communicating, because if this guy can't move from this position, meaning there's shit going on in the snake, then this guy has to become your D attacker, D side attack, and he has to hold this bunker down. Now, we only had Steve for just a short little time, so I did want to get his points of view before he had to get out of here. But I do want to kind of take a more of a deep dive walk around the field and get y'all's input on the shots you might have. So we're just gonna kind of point them out. Looks like we lost just about everybody. That's okay. They probably thought that was the end. We got some people coming back. But we'll get some looks down in this snake. So we do have a full snake. It's not broken to get across. And I like that, because the last few layouts we've done, there's been a gap that you had to cross in the 50. So this is nice to be able to have a full intact snake crawl all the way to the other side of the field. And once you wrap on the Viper, it's packs and backs. Let's see. I'm assuming this is Ryan. You can tell me if it's not. But moving to D3 next year, hell yeah, dude. Team that's from Defunct. Oh, the GG Factory team. Okay, cool. Peyton, I want to know, what did you learn at the Greenspan Clinic? What's one thing you learned from the Greenspan Clinic? I didn't get to talk to you yet this week. Talked to Trent. He said you guys are basically pros now after going to that clinic. I wonder if there's a blind shot over the top of that mess. What do you call it? The crack pipe? Oh. There's not much that I would really care to be concerned with, I don't think. Uh-oh. We went to Narnia, I think. There we go. New technology, folks. Trent says easy now. Hey, listen. Ain't that what you said? I could have swore you said that y'all were going into semi-pro next year with Faithful. Cobra's got the entire outside tape, but remember, this is a small bunker, so I don't think you're gonna want to send a big guy here unless he can really play tight. But if you can get out here, you do have good control. And then whoop right into this snake 2. Need to get the faithful guys to play MSXL, then bigger tournaments is how you learn a lot. Yeah, absolutely. I think MSXL is very comparable to an NXL tournament. It's a little bit smaller scale, but the competition is super strong at those tournaments. And you get outside of the race 2 format, you're playing genuine X ball, and that's completely different than a race 2 tournament. And I do think I heard, and Trent can tell me if I'm lying here, but I did hear something about Faithful going to play NXL next year, maybe 1 or 2. Personally, I think for D5, if you're not like top of your region, NXL is overpriced. Like if you don't feel like you have a shot of winning, or if you just feel like you maybe not ready yet, then I would definitely hit MSXL for sure. Go take a look at the snake Rito. NXL ain't worth it for D5 and D4. Absolutely, yeah. Yep, stick to MSXL or Maxwell. I have not been to a Maxwell tournament, but are they about the same, Ryan? Pretty close to MSXL? I don't think turret is bad at all. I really don't. If you can get a guy out to this corner, if that fits the game plan, you get a guy in this corner and you lock down all of that. Especially if they send a guy D1 and they're pushing the snake. So if their widest guy is the D1, this zone, you can wrap so hard on this bunker because that is your widest guy right there. So you don't even have to worry about what's happening over here. So you focus on him, you put him in, then you can wrap on that side of the field. Or, if your tower's pushed in and you need to make a move, push on in. I haven't looked at these mini W's yet. These are usually pretty good for popping the top, and not so much for playing the sides. I mean, yeah, you almost have to, but get in the second one. Take a look here. I think Max was more competitive. Definitely will get your shit kicked in if you aren't on your stuff. For sure. Played 3 NXLs last year. It's like 1,500 for one person. Oh. Good Lord Almighty. Got 6 at MSXL Chicago last year. Hey, I was there. I played, now I'll tell you this. Okay. Here's my experience with NXL. I played 5-man open. We played with Shock. We played, who else did we play with? I think the Farm had a line, maybe, in the 5-man open. I think it was like $300 or $400 a piece, like with paint. So if you're a lower divisional guy and you want to go get that NXL experience, definitely go play some 5-man open. I mean, you get the NXL experience, and that's a totally different thing than any other tournament has to offer. With all the vendors, obviously you get to watch the pros play. You just get to be, in that paintball atmosphere. There's just nothing like it. So I would definitely recommend, if you want to go to NXL, go play 5-man open. It's going to be super cheap on you. You get to play all day, and then you get to hang out and just chill. All right. Well, I think that will do it. Head on over to the Grit booth. Yeah, you guys didn't know this was over here. Let's see. Check all these comments one last time, guys. Thanks for hanging out. Again, we'll be back in 2 weeks with an update on MSXL and go over what game plans work, what doesn't work, and what you guys going into next gen event number 3 happening July 19th and 20th. Have to look forward to. So that will do it for tonight. I want to say thank you, guys. I'm Brady Nickel. This is Outside the Net. We'll see you guys next time.
This episode of Outside the Net was powered by Grit, built for those who grind, bleed, and keep coming back. Gear up at grtpaintball.com. To be the best, you gotta have grit.